Hello and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name is Duchess Loveleen. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, hi my loves. So it's been a really long time and we haven't seen each other, and that's unfortunate and entirely my fault. But I have an excuse, a good one. I was sick. I was very sick. Not only was I sick, I was completely bedridden. I couldn't walk, I couldn't stand, I couldn't even sit up. Like the most I could do was roll from side to side. Um I injured my tailbone, so it's like right above, like right below my spine, right above my butt. One of the worst places to have an injury, an infection, anything go wrong. It I couldn't sit up. Like I could only lay on my stomach and or lay on my sides. It was terrible. Everything was terrible. I couldn't, like, I would just cry. I would be in pain. I would be depressed as fuck. Like it was just bad all around. And it really, like, this entire time that I was sick really made me realize that regardless of all the things, like vanity wise, that society makes you focus on, like acne or like your chubby cheeks or your chubby butt. I mean, you should be healthy, but you get what I mean in terms of like, oh, you're too tall, you're too short, oh, you're too this, you're too that, your nose is too this or too that or whatever. Um, there is nothing worse than being sick. So absolutely appreciate your body. Like after this entire um, ordeal, I love my body in the way that I can't move. Like I don't have a cane, I don't have a walking stick, but every time I had to go to the urgent care for care, I had to walk with an umbrella. I have an umbrella that has a curved handle. That was my walking stick. It was so bad that in the waiting room, I would just cry in public. I'm a grown woman. I'm not a kid. Like, I'm not a kid that is in pain and is crying, and people can excuse the kid because, it's a kid and the kid is in pain. And they're kids, they can't hold their pain. Anytime I have to go to the hospital and I'm in pain, I'm always able to just hold the pain in and not cry in public. I've never cried in public um, ever since I became an adult. Even in high school, I never cried in public, no matter how sick I got. But this time, it was really bad. Like bawling in the waiting room. But I wasn't screaming. I was just like, I'll go like this and I'll just be crying. And sometimes my mom would follow me to my apartment and she'd be like, why are you still crying? I'm like, it hurts. It hurts a lot. And it's not like you can take a gurney with you to to the waiting room to wait. Like you have to sit at the chair. And sitting was a problem for me. It was a really big problem. So it was just, oh my gosh. And then when I'm able to go into the actual hospital room, and the doctor is taking care of me and they're at that particular area and like massaging it just so that it can heal faster, oh, I was screaming like I wasn't even like, oh, crying like prettily. Like I was ugly crying, I was screaming, I was in pain. I was embarrassed as well, completely embarrassed. But like during the time that I was in pain, I didn't care. I did not care. It was bad. It was really bad. Anyways, healing was a slow and torturous process. Physical rehab was a nightmare. Like I have like ever since I'm getting healthier, I love my body. I love my body so much now. Like there is nothing that would ever beat my healthy body. I don't care about anything else anymore. I have a two-toned um skin color where my face and my neck is so much darker than the rest of my body, and even my hands are so like they're a bit darker than the rest of my body. The rest of my body is really fair. It's basically light skin, really fair. But because I have that two-tone skin, I always like to wear turtlenecks to like just at least make it seem like my entire body is just one color, and that way I can, like, I don't know, look good. But that's one of the main vanity issues that I had. It's not an underlying disease. My doctor just said I should lose more weight. It would go back to me just having that one skin tone. The reason my face and neck is darker is because my body is not reacting very well to being diabetic. I'm pre-diabetic. I'm just this close to not being diabetic anymore. So it's pretty bad health wise, but it has never been bad enough that I look at my body and I'm like, you know what? I'm just happy being healthy. This entire ordeal made me realize all the little things. Like I'm like, oh, I don't like my stretch marks, or oh, I don't like. What else do I not like about my body? Mostly the skin thing, mostly the skin color thing. Oh, I don't like my body having two skin colors and they're so opposite each other and they contrast really badly and stuff like that. I don't care anymore. I generally don't care anymore because I can move, I can walk, I can sit up. Sit up. It's so basic, but it's so important to me. Anyways, part of just healing and going through this entire just weeks upon weeks, over a month of just pain and stress and oh my gosh, the days blended together. Things were, sometimes I would just spend the whole day sleeping because I had nothing else to do. Sometimes I'll just spend the whole day crying. Sometimes I'm a little bit alert. I would sporadically go on Twitter, but I usually don't go and stay on Twitter that long. I might stay in a couple spaces, participate in a little bit, but outside of that, it's just, it was a nightmare to just get my mentals up to par to do anything. I saw so many like comment notification on YouTube and I'm just like, I wish I'm in a better state to comment and to show love and support back that you were showing to me, but I honestly wasn't. And so I couldn't. But now I'm a lot better. I'm going to take the time slowly over the course of the week, respond to things. And please, don't be annoyed that it has taken so long from your point of view. I really, really could not do it. I really could not do it. But now I can. So I'm gonna do it. I'm going to reach back out, respond. I've been slowly doing that on Twitter. I will move over to YouTube and respond back, and we can continue our little conversations that we've had, because you were there, you know me. When I'm free, I'm like this, like I rapid fire, I'm rapid with my responses, right? So the fact that it's taking so long, like, must have clued you in that something went really, really wrong, and it did. So I will definitely get back into my usual, like, as soon as I see the comments, I reply. As soon as I see it, I reply. Yeah, that's my RL reason why I was AWOL for so long. I'm so sorry. But in the meantime, a lot of things have happened. Specifically, Layover dropped. I also haven't done 7. We'll get to that. But Layover dropped right now. It's this entire week. I've listened to 3 songs. I've listened to the songs that have music videos. That's Slow Dancing, Rainy Day, and Love Me Again. Yeah, Love Me Again. I used to confuse that with Love V Again, but no, it's Love Me Again. So Rainy Days, Slow Dancing, Love Me Again. Out of all those 3 songs, Slow Dancing is the queen. I want to be like, oh, they're all objectively good and da-da-da. Let's be real. They're all objectively good, subjectively great. But you have your favorite. You have your favorite. Slow Dancing is mine. I listened to that song once, loved it. Absolutely loved it. The most educative or most enlightening song for me was Rainy Days. Yes, it was Rainy Days. Love Me Again was the first one that dropped. Yeah, I like that song. It was very interesting to me. And then Rainy Days dropped and I was like, this is a song that I would not have listened to if it wasn't BTS. Like, if BTS didn't put me on this song, specifically V, didn't put me on this song, I would not have listened to this genre of song. Like, it's just not kind of my genre, but there's something about V that is always charismatic. I'm like, his voice. So I loved it. But Slow Dancing, oh my gosh, absolutely amazing. There's a part in that song too, was like the later half where it's just instrumentals in, oh my god, I've only listened to that song once and I'm in love, but we'll get to it. So Layover dropped. I pre-ordered Layover when Hope Edition dropped. And that's like a while ago. I have not learned my lesson in pre-ordering. I talked about my lesson, or like the absolute BS I did when it came to ordering face on pre-ordering face on Weverse, and I was like, pre-ordering on Target should be better, and it's not. Because I pre-ordered a while ago. Oh yeah, look at it. I pre-ordered August 18th. It's September, like it's gonna come September 13th. Today is September 9th. It's not here yet. It's not here yet. And what is it? It's on their shelves. Like you can go pick it up. I'm sure you could go pick it up. But I wanted to add to, the hype and everything, and it was pre-order. Pre-order tells the company or whoever is producing the item that people are anticipating this item. So make sure you have enough in stock. So that's why I wanted to pre-order. Not necessarily that I want to be the first person to have it ever. I mean, I do, but that's not always why I wanted to pre-order. But it's just frustrating where one of the downsides of you pre-ordering stuff is not getting it as soon as they have it on shelf. It's just anyways, I have a couple more days before it comes. I have like 4 more days. Ugh, unfortunate. And then after layover, I just need Jungkook to drop his album, and I will have a complete. Well, Jungkook to drop his album and Jin to drop his album, and I would have a complete set. I'm looking forward to completing my collection. Anyways, so yeah, that's my entire. That's the reason why I went AWOL. What is frustrating right now is I really want my layover merch to come and its album to come, and it's not come yet. So that's what's frustrating me a little bit. Anyways, not Rainy Day, Love Me Again dropped, and Rainy Day dropped. And do you know what else dropped on the west coast of the United States of California specifically? Well, yeah, California, sorry. The United States of America. In California specifically, Hurricane Hillary. That was a mess. I have never in my life had to deal with a hurricane before. Like, it's the complete opposite here in Cali, where we mostly deal with droughts where there's no water and we have to like ration stuff, ration how much you bathe, how much you, the amount of water you use in bathing, how much, like you have to be super conscious in terms of like the amount of water you're using to cook, like just even to water the grass outside. I don't live in a house. I live in an apartment, so that's not a concern of mine. But it just everything. Ration water, ration water, ration water. Our pool was dry for the longest time because we were all collectively trying to conserve water. So to have the opposite problem this time around, where it's too much water, flooding everything, like our entire infrastructure is not built to handle a lot of water. So there was a lot of flooding, people died, assets were lost, like people's cars were flown away, like floated away. It was really bad. And on top of the hurricane, we had an earthquake. I was on WhatsApp. If you don't know, WhatsApp is an app that allows you to connect with people from around the world. It's the app that I and my family primarily uses to connect with my extended family in Nigeria. And I was on WhatsApp talking with my auntie, and she was checking up on me because of the hurricane, and she was worried. And then as we're talking about, I was laying on the couch, and all of a sudden, everything was shaking because of an earthquake, and I was panicking, and I was like, oh my god. Like, if it was an earthquake by itself, as Cali residents, we know how to handle it. But like, on top of the hurricane at the same time, bruh, V was the only thing holding my mental down because like rainy days was so perfect, unfortunately perfect, but it was so perfect because it was rain. Part of the hurricane was it came with rain as well, and I'm like, I love you, V, but like, did you predict this? Was this your fault? Was the Hurricane Hillary your fault? Because why is your song so perfect for this for this weather? I mean, it wasn't, but anyways, it really helped hold me down. It came out, Hurricane Hillary hit about a couple weeks after Rainy Days and Love Me Again. Yeah, a couple weeks after that. But today we're going to listen to oh yes. Okay, so I wanted to go over the lyrics on Dulcet for Layover, as we do. But unfortunately, It hasn't been updated. The most, I guess, updated one is D-Day, and I will get to D-Day. I promise I'll get to D-Day. But, let's see. Yeah, but there is no, I don't see, I don't see a layover. So I'm going off of context clue only of the English part because he does speak in Korean. Or sorry, he does sing in Korean, and I don't know Korean, so I wouldn't understand what he's saying. Can we try to even Google it? Let me see. Yeah, you can't copy it. It's just yeah, you can't copy it. So yeah, you can't copy it. Oh, let me see. Genius. Can Genius help me? Yeah. So, anyways, most of layover is going to have to be context clue only off of the English version because there is no Dulcet is not holding us down just yet. But I understand, obviously, they're doing this for free, and it must take a lot of work to not just translate, but to also add clues. Sorry, clarification in terms of like what the specific word is referring to as well, because sometimes things don't really directly translate properly. So I understand, and I want them to take their time. I'm just kind of being cheeky with waiting for them to like drop. Let's see. Google Translate. Help me. Let me see if I can. Now every day in the past. Is that accurate? I have no idea. Okay. But majority of it is in English, so I feel like we would have a reasonable understanding of what he's talking about, what he's singing about. Have I read the lyrics? No. As usual, I might have listened to the song on my own time because we need to stream. Armies needs to stream. So as much as I would love to just pull up my camera as soon as something drop and I'm like first time reacting to something, as much as I would love to do that, it's more important for me to stream and like help contribute that way. And then when I'm able and free and I have all my IRL responsibilities and obligations handled, I can come and take my time and dissect the lyrics and re-listen to the song again with you. So yeah, as usual, not my first time reacting, but my first time reading the lyrics, commenting on anything, or just even formulating my own opinion on what's being talked about. I tried so hard to stay away from spoilers or whatever on Army's Twitter. I am so proud of myself. I have no idea what other people's theories are. I like to make my own theories first and then, find out what other people are thinking about things. And then after this video, find out what you think about things. So that's how we do things in this household. Just a fresh little reminder. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I look different, don't I? Yeah, this entire bedridden situation just made me feel like I need a new fresh start, and so I'm black again. I've been black for like a while, throughout my entire sick journey. I don't know if I'm gonna stay black though. I mean, does it suit me? Black or blonde? What do you prefer on me? But we'll see. I may or may not go back to blonde just to like keep my channel consistent. But it depends on what you think. Or a different color. No, I think black or blonde. Those are your only two options. If you want brown, I would have to think about it because then I have to like get a new look that's bleached and then dyed brown. But anyways, new look. Hello. Chimi is still here. He's still with me. He's still hurt. Right now, we're both hurt at our butt area. That's unfortunate. I still haven't sewed him. I really should fix him. But yeah, he's still here. Hi. Okay, so rainy days. Let's see. Are you ready? First, we will. So because Dulcet doesn't have the lyrics, we're going to listen on Apple Music as usual, but we'll read the lyrics on Spotify, and then go to Genius to, where is it? Go to Genius to see what the lyrics is about. Hmm. Yeah, and then we'll finish up with watching the music video. Yeah, and that's about it. Oh, also, watch a Switch Attack teaser as well at the end, because I haven't seen it yet, but just from the smile alone and the nose, I'm like, looks familiar. And everybody else on Twitter also said it. Like, I'm not at that level quite yet where I can like look at their nose and figure out who is who. I'm not there yet, but we'll get there. I'm sure it took you a couple of years ready to be that proficient. I'm still a baby army, okay? I still need to grow a little bit. um okay, so let's see. Yeah, so we'll just wait on it. Okay. Yeah, so listen to Apple Music, read on Spotify, and translate from Genius. Okay. I thought the typing was like the notification was me. I was like, no, I'm recording.
Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. On rainy days, like rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. On rainy days, like staring at my phone, a cage, hoping for your call lately. I've been on my own, maybe. 이젠 지난 일에 맨날 time with you was so amazing. Haven't changed, I'm still the same. 늦었지만 우리 다시 Can we go back to the moment again? Yeah, rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. On rainy days, like rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. On rainy days, like Remember how I used to make you laugh the most. 내가 이런 말할 자격 없어도 Let me make up for all the time we lost. We can start again, open all the doors. Don't tell me it's over, we can start it over. 너는 나의 late clover. Yeah, I can feel your touch, I remember your kiss. 그 말은 아팠지 and I miss you. Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. On rainy days, like rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. On rainy days, like
Wait, chill. Just rainy days. We'll get to blue in a minute. Okay, so just from the little I've heard, first of all, love the song. Absolutely amazing. Where is it? Okay. Just from the little I heard, the beginning where it, like, you have all the notifications and sending of text and stuff. Honestly, On one hand, it's like, oh, you're still in contact with this person, right? Because you're texting and whatnot. On the other hand, it could be it's a one-sided text. Like one person is the one sending all the text and whatnot, and the other person is not receiving it. They're putting you in red, unfortunately. So personally, I think it's the second one because it's all about I'm thinking about you. I wish I know how to. Rainy days, I'm thinking about. So I'm like, V is sending a one-sided text that the person is ghosting him. Who dares to ghost my boy? Like, what is with people in hurting BTS? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. Because off music, like in real world, people just seemed so happy and giddy, just hurting them, making up stories about them, misinforming people about them, just being negative and just evil people, right? But in their music, it's like, but those are like outside of music, those are strangers who are doing it to them. Like, quite frankly, those are pathetic bottom feeders. They never matter. They're never going to matter. Like, this hating on BTS is like the most your life is ever going to matter, which is pathetic. Anyways, but in the music, they're being hurt by people that they care about, people that matters to them. So with Jimin's entire Phase album, oof, um, that's alright. For V, just based on this one song, I'm just like, who hurt you? Like, seriously, what's going on? Who's hurting everybody? Because I don't understand. Like, Jungkook over here is just wilding. He is fine. Well, hopefully his album doesn't say otherwise. But like, dude is talking about fucking Monday to Sunday. The dude is fine. But everybody else, oh my goodness. Like, when Hope came, J Hope's Jack in the Box Hope edition, I bought it. It came. When it came, I re-listened to the song, and I'm like, the way I'm listening to More and Arson, again, I don't look at the lyrics unless I'm on camera. Just like have something to share with you, not because I'm not absolutely intrigued by what the lyrics are saying, but just so I can have something to share with you on camera. But just the way I'm listening to it, I'm like, it wants more. Everything burn. I'm like, what's his name? RM's, what's the name of the song? Lonely. Yikes. Like, that vibe entirely. Like, everybody is going through it except Jin and Jungkook. And do you know what the difference between Jin and Jungkook is? Both of them have not released a solo album. So maybe when they do release a solo album, they're gonna join actually from what I've heard about Suga, he's been pretty okay in terms of like not being depressive. Actually, no, I forgot about Amygdala. Okay, forget it. Maybe when Jin and Jungkook joins the rest of BTS, they're going to release songs in the rest of their albums. That's just depressing because what the fuck is going on with BTS, man? Who is hurting them? Who? Oh my god. Everybody is depressed. Everybody is sad. Everybody is melancholy. Everybody has some sort of negative emotions. I don't fully know what's entirely in Amygdala, but just the few I've seen and I've listened to, I'm like, yeah, this is a lot of fun. The song, this is a lot of fun. I don't know if at the end of the song it's like all hopeful and what I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, every single member of BTS that have released an album has some sort of negative song on it. Like, it's beautiful, it's well produced, amazingly crafted. Even just Rainy Days, like, just listen to V's voice alone. His voice alone is just out of this world, right? But every single member of BTS that has released a solo album has something depressing to sing about. And I'm like, no, to the point where I'm just like, I want Jin to just keep flying out into space and having it be a fun little thing. At least that's what I'm getting from Astronaut. I haven't read it yet. And I'm happy with Jungkook fucking everybody. Well, not fucking everybody, but fucking every day. I'm happy with that. Like, I want the boys to be happy. Oh my god. Even though my personal taste are sad songs. That's why it gravitates to Face so well, because it's such a depressing ass album. But I personally, if I had to choose between happy and sad, I always like sad stuff, mainly because people are more vulnerable on when they're sad, and they really kind of draw you in and bring you into their world and talk about things that they're going through. That's usually like the fastest way to listen. Oh, I'm sorry about that. But that's usually the fastest way to know somebody, just when they're ready to let you in and spill their hearts out. So even though personally I like sad songs, angry songs, very emotionally, like negative emotionally based songs, I kind of still want these musicians to be happy. Okay, nobody deserves to be sad all the time. I'm okay. Like I should be the one. No, me by myself. Only me being sad is enough. That's what I'm trying to say. Only me being sad is enough. Only me being depressed and anxious is enough. I don't need anybody else to be sad or depressed or anxious because it just hurts me. It's like, I know I'm going through stuff, but I don't want you to go through it too, you know? So, oof. Anyways, the beginning of this particular song, Rainy Day, if it's the second type of like sending messages where the person is not responding to you, it's already starting out depressing. Like, it's already starting out depressing. But I love the piano. I love the instrumentation. So this is what I was thinking, where it's like, oh, okay, this notification that somebody sent a message, ding, right? So maybe they are communicating back and forth. But then now, he just sent a message. Like, you hear the, whoop. So he just sent it. So he got a message and he sent one. So I'm like, okay, so it's not that somebody, is ghosting him or whatever, leaving him a red. Maybe they are communicating. So that's good. That's a happy start. He sent another one. He's still typing. He sent the third one. Okay, so like the background noise of people talking, I can't hear what they're saying. I don't know if you're even speaking English or they're speaking in Korean or a different language. I can't hear it. But this entire scene that's being painted for me is, there is a get together. If not a party, at least a get together. And V is in a corner with after just receiving one text, this man has sent 3 texts. And I'm like, ha 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 ha. On one hand, it could be completely normal for him. On the other hand, it could be a sign of desperation. With that one text, you're sending multiple, like that many, back to back to back. Okay. But the fact that he's off on his own, they get together, friends, and people are talking, and it kind of seems lively in the cadence of the voice of the people in the background, but he's not in there. He's not with the group of friends chatting and talking and stuff. He's on a corner. So it could be something not nefarious, but something a little bit more depressing or sad. Or it could just be, he stepped out just to send quick text. It's still one way or the other. You can still read it positively. Personally, I would read it negatively, because otherwise, why would you? If it's just a casual little thing that doesn't mean anything, that doesn't have a deeper meaning, why would you put it in the song in the first place? Because at that point, you're just inviting people to overanalyze. And here's me, overanalyzer. So I'm just thinking that maybe he is isolating himself from, the happy chatter going on in the background to really try to communicate with this person that has only sent one text and he's sending too many back. Anyways. Chatter still.
Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say, wish I knew how to.
Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say, I wish I knew how to. This is somebody. So he's saying, okay, we're not going to analyze lyrics just yet. But in general, the entire song is, I'm thinking about you. I wish I knew what to say to you. But this is someone who just sent 3 texts in a row. So it's one of those, how do I put it? When you don't know how to phrase something or how to articulate something, and you keep talking and talking, trying to clarify what you're trying to say. Usually it happens when you've dug yourself in a hole because you said something and it didn't come off the way you intended it for it to come off. It came off a little worse than you wanted it to. And so you talk more, just like clarify, like, no, I didn't mean it that way, I mean like this. And you bring up examples and analogies, and like you're trying to paint a picture of like, and all of that happens when you're not being articulate, right? So it's on first listen, it's like, oh, what his actions are is completely different from what he's saying his actions are. He's actually texting and talking and saying as much as he can, but he is saying that his actions are, he actually doesn't know what to say. So it sounds different, but it still fits in the sense that he is not being articulate. He's not saying, like, the things he's saying is not coming off the way he wants it to say. So that the way he wants it to come off, that's why he's saying a bunch of like follow-up words and sentences to like really clarify his main point. Personally, I'm not the most articulate person ever, and that's why I tend to go off in tangents to like try to clarify my intention. Or like I'll start a sentence and I'll pause and I'm like, that doesn't sound the way I want it to sound, so I'm going to like, or it's not sounding that way in my head, and so I need to like abort that particular sentence and start a new sentence to like clarify my intention or statements and whatnot. So I understand what he means by I wish I knew how to say, and I wish I know what to say, but he's talking a lot, so I get it. So let's continue. We're not gonna really dive into lyrics, just more of like what's going on behind the scenes of the song, what we can hear, and then we're gonna watch the music video to see if what we see matches what is we can hear just by itself, just audio only, right?
Find the way right back to you. Rainy days like rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say, wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. Rainy days like staring at my phone, a cage, hoping for your call lately. I've been on my own, maybe. Isn't 지난 일에 맨날 time with you was so amazing. Haven't changed, I'm still the same. 늦었지만 우리 다시 Can we go back to the moment again? Yeah, rainy days, I'm thinking about you.
Okay, something I just noticed right now is the rhythmic snapping of fingers, or it sounds like snapping of fingers. Am I the only one that feels like that is making me anxious? Because like when you have that repeated, it's almost like a countdown necessarily. Like, okay, not a count, but like time is passing by, right? Like it's just tap, 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 tap. And it's just, I don't know, it's I feel like it symbolizes time is passing by. Not necessarily a countdown, but just more of like, because if you're waiting on somebody to reply to a text, you feel the minutes, you feel the seconds, to the point where it's when you're even online, you hear people talking about how they've ruined friendships based off of response time. Like the response time is not fast enough for them. Like even me, I know I must have lost a couple people because I didn't respond to their comments like for a really, really long time. Like when you're waiting for a response, you feel the time pass by a lot slower, and like it's just much more intense. And so the little tapping I'm hearing, it reminds me of that, like that response time, like V's anxiously waiting for, a call, a text, something, just something to continue the communication, and he's not getting it. And that's making every little tap matter. It's like magnifying every little tap, and because that's like every time for every new tap, it means that person has not responded to him. So if you hear 2 taps, it's like, okay, it's just 2 taps, it's fine, it's not that big of a deal. And you're waiting 3 taps and 4 taps, and like that's like seconds passing by, like each tap is a second. At that point, when it's like 1,000 seconds, okay, maybe not 1,000, maybe just 10 seconds pass by, like you feel some type of way about that response. You might be like, oh, they must be busy, or oh, like you try to justify that response. I'm not saying like 10 seconds is too short or too long or too whatever. I'm just saying that response time matters in the way that you perceive somebody else, especially when you're nervous about something. Like, let's say you just confessed over text, like, hey, I like you. 2 seconds feels a lot different than 10 seconds. I'm just gonna keep it. Like, you're chatting with this person, and all of a sudden, the conversation's going smooth. All of a sudden, you just decide to, take a leap of faith and you confess. That 10-second feels a really, really long time. But then, let's say you're taking a test, like a math test, for example, and you have 10 seconds. Oh, that 10-second goes by fast. It's still the same 10 seconds, but it's not a response time when you're doing your math test. You're trying to make sure you beat the clock, right? But when it's something that you are emotionally vulnerable, when it's a scenario where you're emotionally vulnerable, response time matters a lot. So for me, the little taps, that's that's what it reminds me of. Like, waiting, and every little wait of that second passing by matters. Like, you feel it.
What to say? Hoping for your call lately. I've been on my own, man.
That's the top I'm talking about. Hoping for your call lately. I'm not V. Just ignore my singing. I cannot sing. But yeah, that's the rhythmic tapping I'm talking about. Especially when he says hoping for your call lately, and you can hear he's still like waiting, because like that tap is still going. The time is still passing him by. The response time is getting longer and longer.
Isn't chillin' it 맨날 time with you was so amazing. Haven't changed, it's still the same. 늦었지만 oh it.
I haven't changed. I'm still the same me. At this point, you're literally justifying anything and everything, and like why this response time is taking so long, right? You're like, did I mess up? Did I say something that, drove them away? Unfortunately, like, sometimes you even go back and reread the text that you've sent to make sure that, you're trying to figure out where you must have said something. Like, you landed on a landmine, and you need to pinpoint what you said wrong so you can clarify it, or you can apologize, or like you can do something just so that that person answers you, that person responds to you. Like, that response time is cut short. Here is like he's thinking, like, what did I do? What did I say? Like, I'm still the same me. I'm still the same me that you like to hang out with before, where the response time was a lot shorter. Yeah, I get, I've never confessed to anybody over text, but I have been emotionally vulnerable to people over text, and I can understand the waiting of the response to see what they have to say about what I just told them. And sometimes I go back, and even in person, it doesn't have to be over text, even in person, and you say something and they just stop talking and look at you, and you're just like, what did I say? In your head, you're going over what you said, trying to pinpoint if there's something you need to clarify, something you need to apologize for. Sometimes you're on, like, you're about to go to bed, you're in your bed, you're about to go to sleep, and all of a sudden you start thinking about, oh, should I have said this instead? Should I have, clarified this point? Like, I hope that didn't make me seem like I'm, a negative person or an evil person, or somebody with the isms, the racism, colorisms, whatever, the phobias, homophobia, like, just xenophobia, homophobia, just anything that makes you look like a bad person. Like, you're trying to figure out, what is it you said? What is it you texted? Like, every time, that response time is really, really long. You're justifying anything and everything. Do you need to change yourself? Or are they busy? Or, maybe they need to, like, think over what you said. Or, like, sometimes being vulnerable makes time go by so much slower than necessary.
Shit, can we go back to the moment again? Yeah, rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find a way right back to you. On rainy days, like rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say?
Sometimes even without the snapping of the finger, the beat of the I'm pretty sure the beat of the drum also kind of takes the same role of the snapping of the finger of like, passing of a second. It's the beat count. That also induces anxiety. So here you have just like you don't have the snapping of the finger. You just have the tap of the drum. Excuse me. But if you notice, they're at the same time anyway. So it might just be that it's not that the snapping of the finger and the drum is interchangeable. It's just more so that they have the same function in terms of counting the same time and that signifying response time, right? So here, let me play it. Okay, here there's no tapping a finger, but I will point out where the drum comes in and takes its place as the beat count.
What to say? Wish I knew how to find a way right back to you. On rainy days like rain.
There are two different like tapping sounds. There's the soft little one, and there's a heavier one that comes in, and then later it's gonna be all three with the snapping of the finger included. Let's listen to that again. Sorry, I'm like talking so much with instrumentation, but more than I did with all the other songs I've reviewed. But it's just the way the song is constructed just tells a story by itself. I'm sure the visual is going to either tell another story or add to this particular story that is being told just by the audio only, but it's so interesting to me. Okay.
Right back to you. We go back to the moment again. Yeah, rainy days. I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find a way right back.
Okay, so it was just the soft little taps, and then the bigger one came in.
Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find a way right back to you. On rainy days like rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find a way right back to you. On rainy days like.
Also, obviously you can hear the rain in the background. I didn't realize I didn't point that out, but yeah, you can hear the rain in the background.
Remember how I used to make you laugh the most. 내가 이런 말할 자격 없어도 let me make up for all the time we lost. We can start.
Also, did you notice when he stopped singing, there were no beat counts, no snapping of the finger, no tapping of the drums to insinuate like waiting time, right? As soon as he starts talking about, oh, remember how we used to do this and that, like really emphasizing that he's waiting for a response, trying to like pull on nostalgia. Trying to use nostalgia to pull on their heartstrings to respond to him. The beat count has started again because he's like that response time. He's waiting to shorten that response time. He doesn't like that response time because so as soon as he starts singing again, pouring his heart out, opening his vulnerability in terms of like he really wants a response, especially talking about, remember how we used to do this and that and the third, you have the beat count come in, right? The beat count wasn't there when he wasn't saying anything because he wasn't waiting on he was not waiting on a response then, but it came in when he started to show that he's waiting on a response. I'm pretty happy with that theory of mine.
Can open all the doors. Don't tell me it's over. We can start it over. 너는 나의 clover. Yeah, I can feel your touch. I remember your kiss. 그 말은 아팠지 and I miss you. Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. On rainy days like rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. On rainy days like.
No snaps. Oh, he just sent a message again. He's texting. He sent another one. He sent a third one. Still texting. Okay, sorry. That was Blue. And at the end of rainy days, he's still sending text messages. Still sending a text message. Well, actually, no, text messages. And the party's still going on in the background. So, yeah, my dude is secluding himself. He's isolating himself to keep reaching out to that one person that is just not giving him the time of day. And the thing is, as he's doing that, he is ignoring the people around him that are more than willing to give him the time of day, because they're at his place or in his vicinity during a get together. So I'm assuming they're more than willing to talk. But because he is so focused, he's hyper focused on this one person that is not giving him the time of day, not only is he miserable because the wait time, the response time is really long, and that's if the person ever responds to him, but because he's so hyper fixated on that one person, he ends up ignoring the people that are around him that he could have been talking with. And usually that's kind of what happens. Sometimes, like, I'm going to talk about relationship just as a general. I'm not saying the song is about one. I think the song can be applied to, I was gonna say to everything, but I think I remember hearing Kiss at one point. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is a relationship song. But I'm just gonna use relationship as, you know, as an example. Yeah. So usually what happens in relationship is people are super hyper focused on their relationship and making it work, just because society really puts a worth. They value romantic relationships more than platonic relationships. So. You have people, because they're raised in society, make that same value judgments as well. When a relationship doesn't go as well as they plan, they completely break apart, and the amount of just devastation they try everything and anything to make sure that that relationship comes back on track, and sometimes it's to the detriment of their actual support system, the people that actually love them for them, their actual platonic relationships. And you know, you need to learn how to balance things in life. You can't just sacrifice one thing for the other always. You really need to learn how to manage things, because many different things are helpful in their own way. The way a family would love you is helpful and useful in a different way than the way a friend will love you and support you. It's also different in the way that a romantic partner will love you and support you. So it's not necessarily always about, oh, you're going to sacrifice platonic relationship for romantic relationship and you be happy that way. Sometimes you need to balance both, because you need the nourishment from the different types of love, right? You can't just survive off of one meal, like one type of meal forever. Like, you do need a different variety, just so you can get as much nutrition as you possibly can. The same thing with love. At least that's my take. You need, for the nourishment of your well-being, right, you need different types of love, you know. So you may not always need romantic love, to be honest, but platonic love for sure, and familial, yeah. For those willing to give it. Don't stay in a situation that you're like V, where you pour your heart out and they don't care, they don't appreciate it, they don't want it. You know, it doesn't make them a bad person. Usually, sometimes, not all, but it means that you need to reevaluate how much effort you're putting in that particular relationship, because sometimes families are not worth it, sometimes friends are not worth it, sometimes your romantic partner is not worth it. It's just, you might need to change those people, or you might need to completely cut that type of love from your life so that you can find, you can replace it with a different type of love and have that give you the support system that you need. Whatever it is, just make sure that you love people who love you back, who value you back, who appreciate you back, whose life you're positive, and they recognize that you are a positive to them, right? And then they're able to, for your life, become that positive addition as well. So don't be like V. Try not to be like V. It sucks being like V. It's just hurtful, and sometimes it's not even worth it. It really isn't. But that's Rainy Days. We're going to actually read the lyrics now, and then we are going to watch the video. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say, wish I know how to. Sorry. I'm trying to sing. I'm trying to do it like the spoken word, and I forgot. I just want to read it. Okay, rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say, wish I knew how to find the way right back to you on rainy days. Like, I'm thinking about you. I wish I know what to say. I wish I know how to find the way back to you. Okay. So it was just a little jumbled up because they're singing it, but that's what the chorus is saying. On rainy days, I'm thinking about you. I wish I knew what to say, and I wish I know how to find my way back to you. Yeah. Also, rainy days and days that are snowing are usually the period of time when people are the most reflective. They start thinking about their loved one, thinking about their life, thinking about things that maybe they could have done differently and whatnot, especially when they have the extra companion known as a blanket, right? Or at least for me, that's how it works. So it definitely makes sense that he's thinking about that, the one that got away on a rainy day. He doesn't know what to say. Yeah, usually when you're coming, okay, so in a relationship where one of them is humble, right? In this case, it's like B's the humble one, in terms of like he's putting his self down. He is, I wouldn't say he's lost his dignity. No, I'm just saying that like he is bowing his head in that sense of he's the one pushing for reconciliation. He's the one pushing for communication. He's the one pushing to make this relationship work, right? So that's what I mean by him bowing his head, him being the humble one. Um, I know in Asia they bow their heads all the time. Like, I get that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the effort he's pushing to make this relationship work is visibly more than what the other person is pushing for. Like, the other person doesn't care. Like, it seems like the other person doesn't care. The person's not responding to texts. He's not the one sending 3 texts for the other person, by the way. The other person is not the one sending 3 texts per 1 text from V. It's V that's sending 3 texts from him per 1 text of that other person. So, like, V is the one pushing this relationship to work. So he is the one saying that on rainy days, I'm thinking about that other person. I don't know what to say about that other person. I don't know what to say to make the relationship work. I feel like that's what he's trying to say. Like, what do I need to say? How do I find my way so that I can get back to you? What is it I need to do? What does I need to say? I think that's kind of what the chorus is saying. The verse, staring at my phone. Okay, let's translate that. Staring at my phone, I'm awake. Okay. Hoping for your call lately. I've been on my own, maybe. Okay. Yikes. Now every day in the past. Okay, staring at my phone, I'm awake. Okay, so I'm awake, staring at my phone. I'm hoping for your call. I've been on my own every day in the past. Okay. I don't know what that means. Time with you was so. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. I've been on my own now. Every day in the past, those times with you are so amazing. I haven't changed. I'm still the same me. It's late, but we're back. Can we go back to that moment again? Yeah. Okay, so the verse says, I'm awake, I'm staring at my phone. I've been hoping for your call lately. I'm currently on my own, but back then, when we were together, every day was so amazing. I haven't changed. Can we go back to that moment again? Because I'm the same me, right? Dude is down bad. V is down bad. He is pushing. He's like, we were so good together. It was amazing together when we were together. Now I'm stuck with being by myself, always being awake, staring at my phone, waiting for you to call. Why haven't you called? Because I haven't changed. I'm still the same me. Like, what's wrong? What's going on? Please, let's go back to when we were together and every day was amazing. Cause yeah, that was. He's down bad. He really is down bad. Okay, so he goes back to the curse. 1 second. Okay, so he goes back to the chorus of rainy days. I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I know how to find the way right back to you on rainy days, like rainy days. I'm thinking about you. Wish I know what to say. Wish I know how to find the way back to you. So that is yeah, that's the chorus. Same thing. Now the second verse. Remember how I used to make you laugh the most? Dude is down bad. Me. I'm sorry. I mean, if it were me, I wouldn't make you feel this way. I'm just saying. Shooting my shot. But okay, let's be serious. Even if I don't deserve to say this, oh my god. Okay, even if I don't deserve to say this, let me make up for all the time we lost. We can start again. Open all the doors. Don't tell me it's over. We can start it over. Something clover. Let's see. What does it say? You are my 4 leaves clover. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm starting to get mad at the other person because what in the heck? Why are you making V feel this way? What happened? What's going on? No. Yeah, I can feel your touch. I remember your kiss. Let's see. Those words hurt. And I miss you. Yikes. Okay. So, remember how I used to make you laugh the most? Even if I don't deserve to say this, let me make up for all the time we lost. We can start again. Open all the doors. Don't tell me it's over. We can start it over. You are my 4-leaf clover. I can feel your touch. I remember your kiss. Those words hurt, and I miss you. Okay, so I was gonna say that the amount of effort V is putting in to getting this person back seems like he's the one who did something wrong. Like he's the one that did something, and then that degraded the relationship, that caused them to split, right? So with that, so if we were to start with that theory, V did something wrong. The relationship, the other person said words that hurt him, and then when they're arguing or whatever, and then that caused relationships to break apart. But V wants it to come back together and heal him. So if we're going based off of the fact that he did something wrong, then all these groveling that he's doing makes sense. Where it's like, remember, I'm the one who used to make you laugh, right? Like, let's make up for the time we lost, even if I don't deserve to say this, right? Like, if he's the one who said something initially wrong that caused all this nonsense to happen in terms of them breaking apart, it makes sense for him to say, even if I don't deserve to say this, it makes sense for him to say that. And that's this part. the first Korean verse or line in verse 2. Even if I don't deserve to say this, let me make up for all the time we lost. Let me make it up. Yeah, so it makes sense that V did something that make the relationship fall apart. We can start over. We can open all the doors. Don't tell me it's over. We can start it over. You are my four-leaf clover. Yes, because usually the people who did something wrong are the people who are willing to butter up, willing to, like, when they're willing to make it go back to the way it was before they fucked up. They usually start with the buttering up and all of that. So, V, I'm not on your side in this. Okay, I don't know what you said or what you did, but like the amount of groveling you're doing makes me think that you did something wrong. Like, you're my four-leaf clover. That is such a sweet line. But the fact that you were saying it and you may have been the one that caused all this nonsense makes me think that that line is not so sweet anymore. Okay, yes, I can feel your touch. I can remember your kiss. Those words hurt, and I miss you. Okay, who said the words that hurt? If he's the one who said it, oh, then V is really, really in the wrong here. Like, if he's the one that said hurtful words and then that caused the relationship to split, V is really in the wrong here. Now let's flip the theory. Let's say it's the other person that did something wrong, and V's the one, trying really hard to let this relationship get back together. So if it's the other person, then the other person said hurtful words, but V doesn't mind. V wants, regardless of what the other person says, he wants them to stay with him. He wants, because he considers them his four-leaf clover, he wants them to be together, start over, he makes the other person laugh. Like, he's pulling out all the tricks in the book. He's trying to remind the other person that, wait a minute. First of all, the time with you was so amazing, right? That's verse 1. And do you remember? I used to make you laugh. Okay, I can keep doing that. Let's make up for all the time we lost. Like, we can start again. It's okay. We can start over. It's fine. I don't mind the words that you said hurts. Like, I don't mind it. But I do miss you. I miss you a lot. You're my four-leaf clover, and I miss you. So he is really humbling himself. If it's the other person that did something wrong, he is really humbling himself, especially with this line that says, even if I don't deserve to say this. Now, keep in mind, this is Google Translate, so we're waiting for Mr. and Mrs. Doucette, or sorry. I'm trying to figure out a respectful way to say Doucette, but I can't think of it. Anyways, because I don't know what their gender is, so I'm not going to try to be binary to them. Anyways, I'm waiting for Doucette Bangtan .wordpress.com to come in and save us, okay? Because Google Translate can be a bit iffy, but we'll work with it for now. So if it's the other person who did V wrong, V is really humbling himself for that relationship to keep going. And we've seen it in real time. Some of you might even have people next to you that in that relationship that they have with someone else, that someone else was the one who fucked up. But that someone else doesn't care. That someone else is ready to move on. Like, yeah, I hurt you, but I have my new thing now. Bye. But that person, is not ready to let go. They're like, I love you. I don't care. I forgive you. Please stay with me. Let's go back. Let's start it. Let's start again. It's fine. Yeah. It's not out of this realm that the other person might have hurt V, but the other person doesn't care that they hurt him. But V cares enough to forgive that other person and desperately wants them back. Personally, I do recommend that. But, it's a valid emotion that people can have. Okay, and then it finishes off with the chorus. Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. I wish I know what to say. I wish I know how to find a way right back to you, on rainy days. Like, yeah. So I've talked about alternative theories. In my heart of hearts, if I were to choose only one theory to go with for the rainy day song, I would say that V fucked up. He fucked up, and now he is prostrating himself, lowering himself, bowing his head down to try to make this relationship work again. Is it a? I remember your kiss is the only indication that this is a romantic relationship. Because everything else could, could be platonic. That's fine. But the fact that it says, "I remember your kiss," and usually, "I remember your touch," "I remember your kiss," those are usually not things you say for when you're talking about a platonic relationship. Yeah, platonic friends can kiss each other, but usually it's not something to remember by or reminisce over or anything of that sort. So, and especially when you listen to the song, you hear people in the background. If it's a platonic relationship, then just go and mingle. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Anyways, yeah, this entire song to me is about a romantic relationship that V screwed up, but is desperate to get back together because he says he doesn't deserve to want to get back together, but regardless, he still wants to get back together. He wants to start over. He is staring at his phone. He's awake all the time, hoping for a call. Like, dude is desperate for forgiveness. That's my takeaway. It's a very subjective takeaway. I've given alternative opinion where alternative theories, possible alternative theories, where it's the other person that's at fault and all of that. But I'm just saying that if I were to choose one theory to go with, V fucked up and he wants forgiveness. Okay, so let's watch the song, like the music video, and have fun with that. Oh, many V's. Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? Little. It matches the tap of the beat that I was talking about. Waiting. I'm sorry. Wait time. Right? He's waiting for a response. It matches so perfectly. Sorry, I'm happy my theory is being proven right.
Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you.
Okay. So yeah, he just woke up. House is a mess. Yeah, and usually that's what happens when you're like excessively sad. The energy to like beautify the place is just not there at all. Like, it's just, things are just so, you don't care about a lot of things anymore. But I guarantee you, if he does receive a call or a text saying from the person he's waiting for, saying that, oh, they're coming over, he will rush to make sure the entire place is clean and neat and presentable. That's just how people are in general. So it makes sense that this is a setting of his space. It seems like he just woke up, but still, like, he's struggling to get off the bed because, sir,
Trying to how to find the way right.
like this shot right here, it's like, damn it, I need to get off the bed. Why do I need to get off the bed? Like, he's contemplating life. It's funny because I do it too.
Back to you. On rainy days, like rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you.
Dude, this man woke up from sleep, got dressed, and then went right back to sleep. Damn it. I'm seeing myself in all the BTS member I've been exposed to now. Saw myself entirely in Jimin's face. I haven't really watched anything outside of just the Face album from him. And then Jungkook switches out. Like, our mindset is just the same on certain things. And then right here, I'm just like, this is me in V's body right now. Like, I'm haunting him because this is exactly what I do. Get up, get dressed, go right back to go right back to sleep.
Rainy days like
Not even like on my phone. Like I'll just go back to sleep.
staring at my phone like
Oh, I saw this. The little V bird formation thingy. Impressive. Impressive. Is this CGI? I wonder how they got it to say V. It's kind of cool.
gates, hoping for your call lately. I've been on my own, maybe. 이젠 지난 일에 맨날 time with you was so amazing. Haven't changed, I'm still the same. 늦었지만 우리 다시
Okay. What I'm getting from this scene is, you know how, how do I put it? Love from your pet is also a different type of company, right? Like when the person you love, in terms of like romantic love or whatever, is not able to really give you that company and support that they used to give you before, people really look for it in their pets because their pet loves them unconditionally. So the fact that he's putting out two human plates, like two meals for somebody, really makes me feel like he's still waiting for that other person that he's texting on his phone. He's hoping for that person's call on his phone. Um, yeah, because that plate is not for the dog. I mean, I know the dog is sitting on the chair and the plate is right in front of the dog, but dogs don't really eat on the dining table with a normal human plate. Like they have their own little setup that humans set up for them, right? But to me, it's symbolic of, like, the dog sitting in that chair is symbolic of he's now the replacement comfort or the replacement love that the other person, the other human, used to give Taehyung, right? Maybe they would wake up in the morning and they would both eat at the table and they will face each other this way. But now that person is not here anymore. So the dog is taking that place of giving support, that place of giving love, you know. Sucks. But that's what this scene is for me. And then there is this black and white situation. I don't know if they're trying to say that the dog is looking at Taehyung in black and white, because like that's kind of the angle, or it's more so that the person who sits on that chair, when they're looking up at Taehyung, who's making their meals, you know, they see them in that like loving, artistic way, you know, in that beautified way, because these are usually more beautified in black and white. So they're seeing Taehyung in a beautified way. Whoever sits on that chair looks up to Taehyung, preparing their meals with love. That's what I'm getting at. That person used to do it. That person used to be the one that sits on that chair, waits for Taehyung to give him a meal, and Taehyung is more than happy to give that person a meal. Like look how happy he is. Like it's smiling a bit. But then that person is not here anymore. Well, now that person is not here anymore. Now that spot is being taken over by his dog, his pet, the person that, well, the being that can give him unconditional love. It's different, you know? And then it switches back to the regular colored vision. So, and black and white, by the way, symbolizes past. You know, when you look at the past movies, they're all in black and white. You look at present movies, they're in colored, right? So this black and white situation, to me, references the past, the memory he's trying to remember. He's trying to get the other person to remember, the nostalgia he's trying to bring up in that other person, so that that person can eventually, you know, start talking to him again, right? So this black and white represents the past for me. And so the person who's looking at Taehyung is sitting on the chair, because that's why you can see like they're not on the same eye level. We're looking up at Taehyung, so that person must be sitting on the chair and, you know, just hanging around with Taehyung, waiting for Taehyung to give them food. You know, because sometimes when you're in a partnership, one person cooks, the other person eats. It is what it is. And as long as that other person is happy to do it, you know, that's fine. Taehyung seemed like he's happy to do it. Yeah, it's just. But now, when it goes to colored, representing the present, the only person on that chair is his pet. The other person that used to be there is no longer there. So yeah, I very much think that right now the pet is replacing the person that used to be there. Because wasn't the pet on the bed when he woke up? Let me confirm that. Yeah, the pet was on the bed.
Rainy days, I'm thinking about you.
Hmm. So Taehyung was sleeping with somebody, and that person gave him comfort and love and support. And even there are times. Let me mute this. There are times when see he like he puts his hand to the side of the empty spot on the bed, and he looks, and there's nobody there. He's just not used to having. He's just not used to not having that person in his life anymore. It it's so sad. Oh, and then look at this. Okay, look at this. So on his pillow, you know, he's like this is his side of the bed. He's laying on his pillow. The square pillow, the square yellowish colored pillow, is the other person side of the bed. So when he sees that the other person is not there, he bows his head to that other person's side of the bed. Like, look at this frame and tell me this is not a sad frame. This is not the picture of somebody waiting for somebody that they love to come back to them. This is a very sad picture. I don't like this picture because it's sad, but it's a beautiful picture. It's well shot with meanings all over it. I love it. But anyways, I just wanted to confirm that. Oh yeah, he snipped his shirt, didn't he? I just wanted to confirm that the dog was on the bed with Taehyung, because that would really help my theory of the dog is replacing the other person giving love and support. No, well, not replacing as in the dog wasn't there when the other person was here. No, more so that if Taehyung was getting one unit of love from the person and another unit of love from the dog, now that the other person is gone, Taehyung needs to get 2 units of love from the dog. That's what I mean. Where it's like the dog has to really Taehyung really puts most of his love now on that dog, because he really appreciates that companionship his pet is giving him, the love that pet is giving him, because he's not getting it from his lover, I would say. Yeah, and I talked about earlier in terms of your hygiene is just a mess when you're excessively sad. And yeah, that includes the energy to wear clean clothes, because my dude sniffed his outfit before he wears it. And usually you do it for outfit you've already worn before, but you just you're too lazy to even pick out a new one. So you just or even do your laundry. So you're more is it that bad? Is it smelling that bad? I mean, it's not smelling that bad. You can still wear it, So yeah, that's what's going on here. He is excessively sad. It's so yeah. And also, when you're excessively sad, you're excessively tired. Look how he caresses that pillow. Look at it right here. He really misses that person that's supposed to be next to him. Okay, so yeah, we were at. So in the present day, he's fixing a meal by himself. It's colored. The only people that's here is the dog. And even though he sets the table for 2, it's still just a dog. And it's showing that he's used to setting a table for 2. That's why as soon as he sets the table, it cuts back to the good old days, right? That's why it's black and white. The good old days where he actually had another human being there for him to laugh and smile and be so happy preparing a meal for. And then now when it transitions to present day with color and everything, it's just him and his pet. Wait, what was he pouring? Was that sugar or milk? Because if it's sugar, that's a lot of sugar. What is he pouring? No, he's pouring it on his plate. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. If you know, let me know. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Let me put the music back on.
늦었지만 우리 다시 Can we go back to the moment again? Yeah, rainy days I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. On rainy days like rainy days I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to find the way right back to you. On rainy days like Remember how I used to make you laugh the most. 내가 이런 말할
Okay, before we move on to a different section, I don't really have much to say about this section other than he's trying to occupy himself with stuff. He's busy. But see, regardless of what he's doing, he's still very disorganized. The bed is not made. Look at his floor. Just, dude is just not. He's not put together in the way that, you know, a healthy and happy relationship usually is depicted. I'm not saying that if you're in a healthy and happy relationship, automatically you're going to be organized and neat and everything. Like, no, I didn't say that. I'm just saying that it's usually depicted that way in music videos. And one of the shorthand ways of showing that somebody is sad or somebody is going through a tough time is surrounding themselves with a mess, surrounding their surroundings with a mess. And in this case, just look at this. It's a mess. Like all the stuff on the floor. I'm bundles of what, newspaper, papers, whatever it is. It's not arranged like maybe in a stack somewhere in a corner. It's not. The bed is a mess, a complete mess. And the floor. Everything is just a mess. Let's see. But he's still busy. He's still doing his thing. Who dozes off in their chair in their house when there's a bed right next to them, literally right next to them? And also, you know how sometimes you just kind of leave the TV on just to have, like when you're by yourself, you kind of leave the TV on just to have something in the background because it's too quiet in the house? Or am I the only one who does it? Because I feel like that's what he's representing here too, where sometimes it's just a little too lonely by yourself. And yes, you have things that you're doing. For me, it's like I'm reading a novel, or I'm doing my homework, or I'm doing something for work, but it's just too silent. So I have to put something on just to have it in the background. Yeah, it's not like he's actually attentively watching the shows that's on his TV, especially because it's the black and white, and dude was just showing sleeping. So he's sleeping, facing the TV. The TV is just playing. So yeah, he's not like paying attention to anything. He just wants the company. He just wants sound in his house because it's just too lonely. If he had a companion, it wouldn't be as lonely enough, or he wouldn't be as desperate enough that he needs to have random sounds on the TV just for company, you know? Otherwise, like, I'm not saying that if he had company, he wouldn't turn on the TV. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if he had company and the TV is on, well, that's fine. But he probably wouldn't be sleeping facing the TV if he had a company. You know? That's what I'm trying to get at. So, for the flower though, the flower kind of just signifies everything I just talked about. Where initially, you know, there was nothing, and then it grew to a flower. It was a bud, and then it grew to a flower. And usually that signifies love, you know, happiness, things just kind of going right in your life. And then it reversed back to being a bud. Everything that you thought you had, the love, the companionship, the support, it all just went away, closed up, you know. It sucks and goes all the way back. That's such a sad smile. Like right here, it's like he's really reminiscing. He's on the side of the other person, sniffing their pillow. Okay, I'm not saying sniffing, but like, on their side, taking in their warmth that they left behind when they left him. He's on their pillow, using it just to remember him. Like, this is just a sad picture. I mean, his smile is still beautiful as usual, but I'm just saying that the context behind it is sad. It's concentrating. Okay.
Remember how I used to make you laugh the most. 내가 이런 말할 자격 없어도 let me make up for all the time we lost. We can start again, open all the doors. Don't tell me it's over, we can start it over. 너는 나의 내 clover. Yeah, I can feel your touch, I remember your kiss. 그 말은 Yeah, I can feel your touch, I remember your kiss. 그 말은 아팠지 and I miss you. Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. What to say, wish I knew how to find.
Is he sculpting himself into the version that he thinks would bring the other person back? I feel like that's what I'm getting at. He's trying over and over and over again. That's why there's so many versions of himself, so many sculptures of his head and his face. Like, he's trying over and over and over again to make himself into the version that he thinks would get the other person back to him. This is a different level of just sad.
All the time we lost, we can start again, open all the doors. Don't tell me it's over, we can start it over. 너는 나의 내 clover.
Don't tell me it's over, we can start it over. You're my four-leaf clover. The fact that the statues are the ones singing it, like, if they represent what he thinks is going to, like, the shape that he thinks is going to bring the other person back to him, the statues singing all of this just shows that, like, each and every single one of them, one of their statues, wants to be the version that can bring that person back. They don't care. They just want that person back, okay? He tries over and over and over again, multiple different heads, multiple different material of those heads. We've seen the little ones, we've seen the clay ones that are talking. Well, I don't know what material that is. We've seen the more metallic shiny ones. Like, it's just dude is trying his best to fit into what he thinks would bring the other person back. There's this one. Where's the other one? There's this one. There's this one. Change hairstyle, change face, change everything, to be honest. Yeah. And he keeps going. Like, he has all of this already done. All of this. Like, this is a lot. He has all of this. But he keeps going because the person is not here yet. None of those statues, none of those... Okay, it's not that they're an actual statue. They just represent what portion of himself he feels like he needs to make to for that other person to come back. He's trying to look... Because when I talked about when a response time is too long after you've said something, it makes you try to look over everything you've said, everything you've done, try to figure out what is it you said that you need to correct, that you need to clarify, to make sure that, that person that you're talking with doesn't leave you, right? Or if they've left you, that you can apologize for so that they can come back. So that's what those statues are representing. Like, which part of himself does he need to change or clarify or apologize for so that that person will come back to him? It's sad. And the fact that he has all of that heads already made, and look at him here, he's still making more because he's still looking for the one thing that he can focus on and hone in on and change or make so that that person can come back to him. And it seems like he will keep making more and more and more until that person comes back because he hasn't found the thing he needs to change yet. And it sucks because you don't need to change yourself for anybody. You just need to change yourself to be a better version of yourself, and that's it. You don't need to craft a new you. You don't need to modify yourself so much that you don't recognize yourself, right? Ah.
We can start again, open all the doors. Don't tell me it's over. We can start it over. None and I make clover. Yeah, I can feel your touch. I remember you.
You're my four-leaf clover. Okay.
Your kiss, 그 말은 아팠지 않아.
Oh, I did not catch it. What is that? Bread? Bread with paint? Okay, I have no theories for that. I have nothing for that. Why bread with paint? I mean, I guess he has the whole artistic person thing going on, surrounded with clays and paint and the glasses too. Like, and it's a good look on him. And yeah, paint and artistry in that sense is usually tied to the French people in pop culture, at least. I know every culture paints and they sculpt and all that. I'm just saying, like, in pop culture, in Western pop culture, usually tied to the French. So is that what they're referring to here? But otherwise, I have no theories for this. But it's a good look, I would say.
I miss you. Rainy days, I'm thinking about you. Well,
Yeah, he's making himself anew. Like this shot right here. Let's put it away. This shot right here. Right here. This is a drawing of him. Look at his hand with the shoulders of the human that he's trying to paint to come to life, to figure out which version is going to make that person come back to him. See, he's even painting his head, right?
back to you. On rainy days like rainy.
Did he just make himself an alien? Okay, that entire painting situation was just out of my world. I would have to really reach if I want to theorize on what that meant, or what that meant. Yeah. And well, this is a very, 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 very shaky theory, by the way. Don't take it as fact or whatever. But if I wanted to absolutely force myself into making a theory on that particular scene, I would say that he's painted himself so much, because out of all of the different sculptures that he's made that looks like him, acts like, speaks like him, sings like him, excuse me, the painting is the one that we can see actually uses himself as a reference, because he's drawing himself there. But the fact that he gave that painting of himself little, like, antennas, shows that even he's realizing that the creation of himself that he keeps doing is alien to him. It's not himself, but he's still doing it anyways, because he wants to change enough. He doesn't care how much he changes. He doesn't care how foreign he looks to himself, as long as that person comes back to him. That's what I'm getting at. I guess now that I think about it, it's not a super far-fetched theory. It does mesh well with my main theory, but I still don't know why he's painting with a bread, though. I don't know.
Days, I'm thinking about you. What to say? Wish I knew how to.
I wish I know what to say. Everything's just so complicated. I don't know what to say to make it so simple that you come back to me. And that's what all the little, for me, that the symbols all just mean that it's like super complicated. The meme where like somebody's thinking and there's a bunch of like mathematical formulas because that person's trying to like decipher what's going on. I feel like that's what's happening here. Let's see. Okay, let me try to find that meme. Yeah, this one, right? Where, they're all like, is it a joke? all the mathematical formulas because they're trying to think. So, anyways, that's what I feel like is going on here. Yeah, like formula like situations and geometry and whatnot, um, showing his confusion. He's trying to like decipher what he has to do to get back that person together, what part of himself he has to change, what he needs to hone in on, apologize for, correct for, just to, like get that person back to him. Okay.
Find the way right back to you.
The alien now even has wings, right? Like, what do I say? What do I have to do to find my way back to you? Like, dude is trying so hard. He's foreign to himself. He's an alien with antennas and wings and can't recognize himself. But he needs to know, what do I have to do to get back to you?
A rainy day's life.
And notice we can hear the sounds of rain, but we don't see any rain whatsoever. Interesting. Okay. And also, every time I hear the sound of texting and going back and forth, we've not seen him actually do that. We've only heard him, text back and forth. And I remember talking about the sound of people in the background talking. Maybe he is in a party or in a get-together and he's isolated himself to keep repeatedly chatting with this person that's not giving him the time of day. But in the video, he is by himself in an apartment. There is no get-together. They don't even show him texting and sending any text back and forth. So, interesting. He's even sleeping. Okay, so based off of what we've seen, it's very obvious that the visual is just more of an interpretation of the actual song, but not an exact it's not what's actually happening in reality. Because in the song, dude is texting, he's with people, we can hear the background, rain is pouring, we can hear the rain, but in the visual we can't see the rain, we can't see anybody in the background. The TV isn't even about a group of people, so you might say that, oh, the sound is coming from the TV. It's not. It's literally Bambi and flowers and animals on the TV. It's not a group of people talking. And even in the later part where the TV shows a human being, the TV is just showing more of the video that we've already just watched, and that's only Taehyung. It's not showing other people there. So this music video isn't a representation, I would say, of what's going on in the music. And then even sometimes, like right here where he was right here, like he was even sleeping when you hear the sound of texting. You hear the sound of texting. More typing and texting and sending a message. Look, he's sleeping. So it doesn't perfectly match what's happening in the song. I feel like the song is actually what's happening, and this is just kind of an interpretation or an artistic interpretation of what's going on. Okay, so it's not a realistic portrayal of what is actually happening in the song. I love the music video. I love the layers that we peel back and we watch and we see and we try to analyze and interpret. I like this kind of music videos because it's fun. It's just an added thing. I wouldn't say that I've actually never seen something like this before, where the music video is just uh, almost an entirely different world, but not too different, but just an entirely different world compared to the actual song itself. But they both mesh well together. This is my first time seeing something like this. I love it. Uh, yeah, I want to see how he's going to perform this. I want to see the stage because I feel like that's going to be another type of interpretation. So this song, Rainy Days, is going to have like three interpretations. The song itself, where you can interpret from the background, excuse me, the background sounds and stuff. The music video, where you can interpret visually. And when he performs this live, I want to see what he's going to put on his set, right? Like what the background's going to look like, if he's going to dance, what the interpretation of the dance is going to be, what the outfit he's going to wear in terms of, like, just in general, because that's going to be another way of interpreting the song. I'm very curious. I've never been curious about something like this before outside of this particular song. It's so interesting. But yeah, this is a very artistic song, beautiful. But at the end of the day, my dude is down bad. He's desperate. And that is what I can get from this song. We'll wait. We'll revisit this song when Doucette updates their sites to include Layover. And I think I would do that. I'll revisit the lyrics when when Doucette updates their site with Layover, and Big Hit updates their site with Rainy Days choreography or something to that effect, because Jimin had the whole him by himself in his apartment or in multiple different sets just vibing to his song. I'm sure V is going to have something different, because from what I've seen, each of them just have different ways of doing their own promo. That's interesting. Some of V might have something different, and we'll just vibe to it that way. We'll see if I need to change my theory in terms of what Rainy Day is based off of the newly translated lyrics, or I just, my theory is okay. Because the Korean verses seem to really not, like, it just flows really well into the English lines. I don't really see it being that different, but we'll see. Google Translate can only be accurate for so much. It's Google Translate, okay? It's AI. It's not a human translating it, so we'll see. So that is Rainy Days. Let me know what your theory is. My theory is the dude is down bad. My theory is this: V did something wrong, but he's apologetic about that thing. But the other person doesn't want to hear it, and they've left him by himself. But he wants to go back to the way it was before, where everything was amazing, and he wants to know what part of himself he needs to change, what he needs to do to get back to the way things were before. So he is down bad because he did something wrong, and he's apologetic about it, but he is trying to get the other person to come back to him. That's my theory. So let me hear what yours is, what lines of the song you're using to back up your theory. I'm going to go back into the swing of things, into the swing of reacting. So I'm really happy that I'm getting better physically and mentally. I'm also really happy I'm able to share more of the songs with you. Oh my gosh, Slow Dance It is coming. I promise you it's coming. But first I'm going to react to Blue. We're going to do this in order. We're going to react to Blue, and then Love Me Again, and then Slow Dancing, and then For Us, and then Slow Dancing piano version. I'm annoyed that I don't see an instrumental version, but we'll see. I haven't listened to a piano version. I don't know if it's just all piano, no instruments, but depending on which one is the main song, I guess, we'll see which one is going to have the remixes and the instrumental versions and all the other stuff, if they even have any. I'm hoping they do. You know me, I love my instrumentals. I'm still mad about 7 Part 2 not having instrumentals, so we'll see. This is shaping to be a very different album. The voice is beautiful, the instrumentation, the mood, brings me like, yeah, this rainy day songs under a blanket. Just listen to it at night under a blanket when you feel like you're by yourself in the world. It hits different. It absolutely hits different. I listened to this during Hurricane Hillary. Just it just hit different. Absolutely hit. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. So for me, that's how I enjoyed the song. You can enjoy it in the way you want. Tell me what it reminds you of. Okay. I don't see myself cooking to the song, like I see myself cooking to Seven, okay? Like, but this one under a blanket at night. That's kind of the mood for me. Yeah, so I will see you pretty soon. I will be making more and more content. I want to react to certain things outside of BTS and Bur City Magazine. There are a couple of videos all like, oh, I want to talk about this. I want to react to this. But most importantly, look out for my comments because I will be commenting. That's one. Two, please tag me in things that happen on Twitter, especially with clarification. I want to gossip. I'm just going to put it straight up. I want to gossip with you. Okay? Burr Streets, I named my channel Burr Streets because I wanted to talk about what's happening on the streets. Sometimes things will happen on BTS side and that's all official and we can all see it. But sometimes the things that happen within the ARMY fandom that I want to talk about or I want to know, sometimes I just want to learn, okay? If I didn't know about airport pictures being from stalkers from other armies, I wouldn't have known that. Because it seemed like everybody shares airport pictures and everybody shares pictures of paparazzis and whatnot, and that was okay. Like, that's what Hollywood is about. But being in the ARMY fandom, I've realized that that's not okay. Those are pictures taken from the artist's discomfort, and they might not say it, but they're not happy about it because of their privacy being repeatedly being breached, and these people are breaching it for their own profit. And that's not okay. And if I wasn't like schooled on it by armies, I wouldn't have known it. So that me knowing that makes me a better person just in general. So things that happen, tag me in. I want to gossip too. And if you're in ARMY Twitter, especially tag me in. If you're in ARMY Facebook, I'm trying to get there. Just include me in things. I do have a Facebook account. It still is Duchess Loveline. I think we'll see. But yeah, I do have a Facebook. Invite me in your group chats, okay? Let's talk, let's chat, let's kiki. I'm in people's Discords now, so I have my own Discord. It's not up and active just quite yet. I'm still getting people to, be in the Discord and whatnot. I'm still recruiting people. We're not chatting just yet, but I'm in a Discord that we actually chat and we actually freak out about stuff. So that's cool. That's amazing. I want to be in more conversations in different places. I'm not on. If you want to tag me on Instagram and TikTok, I'm there, but I'm not super active. But still tag me anyways. I'm gonna check repeatedly now that I'm back in the business of things. I'm gonna check repeatedly. I want to have fun with you. When you're by yourself in the bed and you're scrolling through the social media of your choice and you have something that makes you laugh, like you see something that makes you laugh or smile, or like you learned, or made you angry, or you made you upset, tag me in. I want to know more. I want to experience that thing with you. ARMY to ARMY, ARMY to baby ARMY. Let me know. I might not always do a rant like my Souls Are Disgusting video, because that was just, oh my gosh, that was so heartbreaking. But I might just talk about it. I might do an episode, or I might do a series where I talk about things that happen in ARMY fandom, and another series about things that goes on in BTS releases and things they create for armies to consume, right? So I can't do that if I'm not in the know. So I want to be in the know. Gossip with me, please. But as usual, my my Twitter handle is at Duchess Baby Army. Usually all my other social media are something to that effect of Duchess Loveline. Yeah, my first name, last name. Yeah, so I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for reacting with me. If you're new here, I have a bunch of Jimin's reactions that I do. I am slowly, I know it's very slow, but I'm slowly and surely getting through each of the albums. After, depending on how fast I get through Layover. If I've gone through Layover and Jungkook has not dropped his album yet, because he said November or something like that, I should be done with Layover in like September, early October. So then I will go and I think the next thing I would do is either D-Day or Jack in the Box. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm slowly but going through BTS's discography. Don't look at my channel and be like, oh, it's only one person that she's reacted to. No, it's not that I only want to react to Jimin. It's just that I'm very slow. So I'm going through materials little by little. And then from also the next thing we'll do is start our BTS book again. Yay, I know. By now you should all have read it. No excuses. You should all have read it. I have given you free PDF where you can access it and read it on your own. No excuses. I am the one that has an excuse to have not finished it yet. So do as I say, not as I do. Okay, yeah. So that's that for today. I will see you when I see you. Bye.